Family gatherings in my family were never fun, just something we had to do twice a year, Christmas and my mom's birthday. I only went out of obligation, but this year, I was done with all of it. A little background, I'm the older sibling, and my younger brother Lucas was always the golden child. He could do anything wrong, and my parents would still make excuses for him. Meanwhile, I got punished for the smallest things. Lucas never held a job for more than 6 months. At 34, he was still living with our parents, not paying for anything or helping around the house. My parents spoiled him and leaned on me for everything: money, fixing their house, and listening to Lucas's drama whenever he got dumped. But this year, I was done being their backup plan, so I sold my house. When I arrived at my parents' house, something felt off. My mom looked overly happy, and Lucas had this smug smile. During dinner, my dad nudged Lucas to speak. Lucas stood up, grinning, and announced, "Mom and Dad decided I should move into your house." I stared at him, shocked. My mom added, "Since you travel so much for work, it makes sense for Lucas to stay there instead of wasting money on rent." They never asked me or even mentioned it before. They just decided on their own that my house was Lucas's new hangout spot. I calmly took a sip of my drink and replied, "That's funny because I sold it last week." Lucas's smile disappeared. My mom's face went pale. My dad choked on his drink. "What?" my mom finally said. "I sold the house," I repeated, sliding a thick envelope toward Lucas. "Here's the sale contract. I knew you'd try something like this, so I came prepared." Lucas opened the envelope and looked horrified. "No, you can't do this," Mom and Dad said. "They don't own my house." I cut him off. "And neither do you." My mom started crying. "How could you do this? Your brother needs a place to live." I shrugged. "He's 34, he can figure it out." Lucas slammed the papers down. "Just buy another place and let me stay there until then." I laughed. "You seriously expect me to buy another house just so you can live in it? Listen to yourself." I stood up and grabbed my coat. "Not my problem." My dad finally spoke. "This was selfish of you. You know your brother isn't as successful as you." "That's because he's never had to be," I replied. "You both keep babying him." And then I walked out. The following weeks were great for me. Lucas went to the house, only to find a retired couple living there. He threw a fit, got kicked off the property, and my parents kept calling me to fix it. I blocked them. Then the extended family started bombarding me with messages about how Lucas is homeless because of you, and your parents are heartbroken. I ignored them all. Lucas ended up moving into my parents' basement, at 34, sleeping on their couch like he never left. Karma. I took my money and went on a long vacation, planning never to go back. Just when I thought it was all over, my mom called me from a restricted number. I usually ignore those, but something told me to answer. "Where the hell are you?" she screeched. "We've been trying to reach you for days." "I blocked all of you for a reason," I replied. "Lucas got evicted," she yelled. "Evicted? From your house?" I asked, confused. She sighed like the victim. "Yes, we let him use our credit cards for emergencies, but he maxed them all out." I almost laughed. "You gave him credit cards? How stupid are you? Don't talk to me like that. Then stop acting like I owe you something." She tried to sound reasonable. "We need your help. Your father and I are struggling financially. Lucas has nowhere to go. You have to fix this." "No, that's your problem," I said. "But we're family." "Oh, you think I still live somewhere you know?" I said. "That's adorable." "What do you mean?" she asked, panicking. "I moved," I said, and hung up. "Where? Wouldn't you like to know?" I hung up. The stalker phase. Ignoring my family turned out to be harder than I thought. They wouldn't just let me go, especially Lucas. He wasn't ready to move on. At first, it was calls from unknown numbers, dozens of them every day, then, emails from fake accounts. I ignored them all, but it only got worse. One day, I got a notification from my bank. Someone tried to get into my account. I quickly changed all my passwords and set up extra security, but something still felt wrong. The next morning, I got an email from my realtor. "Hey, just confirming your change of address request." "What?" I called her right away. "What request?" She said someone called, pretending to be me, asking for my new address. They even gave some of my personal details, like my old address and birthday, but my realtor got suspicious when they couldn't answer a basic security question. I knew it was Lucas. This wasn't just him being mad, he was actively trying to find me. The confrontation, I decided to stop playing defense. If Lucas wanted to mess with me, I was ready to fight back. I unblocked my parents, and as soon as I did, my mom's number popped up. I answered. "What the hell is wrong with Lucas?" I snapped. She sounded offended. "Why are you so angry? You haven't spoken to us in weeks." "You mean the weeks where Lucas tried to steal my identity?" Silence. "Yeah, that's right," I said. "Why is your golden boy trying to get my private information?" "He wouldn't do that." "Oh, so it's just a coincidence someone tried to change my address? Tried to get into my bank account? And it all started right after I cut Lucas off?" My mom sighed. He's desperate. You left him, his life is ruined, and all you do is make things worse." "No, he ruined his own life," I shot back, "and if he keeps this up, I'm calling the police." Now she panicked. "The police?" "Yes, the police. I have proof, so tell your precious boy to back off, or he'll be spending time in jail." She started begging, "Please, just talk to him, help him one last time." I took a deep breath. "Fine, put him on the phone." There was some shuffling, then Lucas's voice came on, sounding smug. "Oh, now you want to talk? I just want to know one thing, Lucas." Silence. "What was your plan if you got my address? Were you going to show up and demand I let you live in my new place?" No answer. "You really thought I wouldn't fight back?" I laughed. "You've always counted on me saving you whenever you mess up, but not anymore. If you fall now, you're hitting the ground hard." "You think you're better than me?" he hissed. "No," I said calmly, "I know I'm better than you." I hung up. I thought things would calm down after that, but 3 days later, I got a text from a friend. "Hey, saw something weird about you on Facebook. Thought you should know." My heart sank. I opened the link and found a public post from a shady-looking account, but it was all about me. Lies. It said I abandoned my dying parents, stole money from them, and left them to suffer while I lived a fancy life. The comments were awful. Wow, disgusting. How could someone do that to their own family? I hope they lose everything. Then I saw who shared it, Lucas and my mom. They weren't just angry, they wanted to ruin my reputation. That was their biggest mistake. Honestly, I wasn't even surprised. My family always played the victim, twisting the truth to make themselves look innocent. But what really made me angry was how far they went. This wasn't just some Facebook rant. They called my job, contacted my friends, and even reached out to my ex. Suddenly, I was getting messages from everyone. "Is it true? Why would you do that to your family? Did you really steal from them?" This wasn't just family drama anymore. This was a full-on smear campaign, and I was done playing nice. I spent the next few days gathering evidence. Screenshots of Lucas's attempts to steal my identity. His messages harassing me for money. Proof that I never took money from my parents. If anything, they stole from me. Then, I hired a tough lawyer who loved cases like this. We sent them all cease and desist letters, demanding they take down the lies and stop spreading false information. I thought they'd back off, maybe delete everything and finally leave me alone. I was wrong. A week later, I got a letter in the mail. My parents and Lucas were suing me. They claimed I caused them emotional distress, stole money from them, and left them broke while I enjoyed a fancy lifestyle. I looked at the papers and almost laughed. They had no case. They just thought I'd be too scared to fight back. Big mistake. The first court hearing was a disaster, for them. Lucas showed up in a suit that didn't fit, looking like a kid playing dress-up. My parents sat beside him, fake tears ready to go. Their lawyer was a cheap, low-quality guy who only took their case for the money. My lawyer tore them apart. We showed all the evidence, bank records proving I never stole anything, Lucas's harassment messages, his attempts at identity theft. The judge took one look at it all and basically said, "Are you serious?" The case was thrown out. Lucas lost it. "This isn't fair," he yelled. "She ruined my life." The judge glared. "Sir, calm down, or I'll hold you in contempt of court." Their big revenge plan completely backfired. But I wasn't finished. The next day, I sued them for defamation, emotional distress, and harassment. Lucas thought I was bluffing until the court ruled in my favor. I won a big settlement, and since my parents co-signed Lucas's debts, they had to pay up. My mom begged me not to collect the money. "I'm your mother," she cried. "Please don't do this. You should have thought of that before trying to ruin my life," I said. She called me heartless, but I didn't care. I made sure they paid every cent. Lucas was broke. My parents were ruined. And me? I took my money and walked away for good. Months later, I got an email from Lucas. The subject line, "You win, but you should know something." I almost didn't open it, but I was too curious. The email was short. Mom and Dad lied to me too. They told me they had money saved for me, that I'd be taken care of, but they never saved a dime. The house? It was supposed to be mine. That's why they wanted me to move in. They needed you to keep it so I'd have something. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. Then I read the worst part. They're in deep debt, not just from the lawsuit. They owe money to bad people, and now that they're broke, those people are coming after them. My blood went cold. I knew my parents were bad with money, but bad people? How bad are we talking? And just like that, I realized, this wasn't over. I sat there for a long time, just trying to process everything. My parents had lied to everyone, not just me, not just Lucas, everyone. They weren't just bad with money, they were in serious trouble with dangerous people, and now, those people were coming to collect. And if my parents couldn't pay? Someone was going to get hurt. I had two choices: walk away and let them deal with their mess, or find out how bad things really were. Against my better judgment, I decided to find out. It didn't take long to figure out what was going on. I made a few calls and looked at some records, and the truth hit me like a truck. My parents owed over $100,000, not just to banks or credit card companies, but to loan sharks. And Lucas? He wasn't the only one messing up. Turns out, my dad had a gambling problem. My mom had been covering for him for years. When their money ran out, they started borrowing from anyone who would lend them money. When that wasn't enough, they made promises they couldn't keep. When I sold my house, that was the last thing they were counting on. Now, with nothing left, someone was coming to collect. 2 days later, Lucas showed up at my door. I had no idea how he found me, but there he was, messy, desperate, and terrified. He didn't look anything like the arrogant jerk I grew up with. "I need your help," he said. I crossed my arms. "Why would I help you?" His hands were shaking. "Because if you don't, someone's going to die." For the first time ever, I saw real fear in Lucas's eyes. "They came to the house," he whispered. "Mom and Dad thought they could talk their way out of it. They were wrong." "What happened?" I asked, feeling sick to my stomach. Lucas swallowed hard. "They trashed the place, took everything valuable, left a warning." "What kind of warning?" Lucas rolled up his sleeve, showing me a fresh, nasty bruise on his arm. "They said if they don't get their money soon, next time it won't just be a warning." I took a deep breath. "So, what? You want me to pay off their debt?" Lucas shook his head. "No, I want you to help me take them down." I didn't want to get involved. I had spent years getting away from my family's mess, but this was different. So, I did something they never expected. I went to the police. I gave them everything: the fake lawsuit, the identity theft, the fraud, and proof of their debts. Then, I went to the loan sharks, not with money, but with evidence. I showed them exactly what my parents had, how they had hidden assets, and how they had lied to everyone. Within a week, my parents were arrested for fraud, tax evasion, and other crimes. They had scammed people, borrowed money they never planned to pay back, and now, they were heading to prison. Lucas? He had a choice: keep running or finally do the right thing. For once, he made the right choice. He testified against our parents, told the court everything, and helped the police uncover every scam, every lie, and every debt. It didn't make up for what he had done, but it was a start. He got probation, community service, and a chance to rebuild his life. My parents were sentenced to 5 years in prison. Lucas started getting his life together, and me? I got what I wanted all along: peace. No more calls, no more lies, no more drama. I was free, and it felt amazing. The end.